What's up, everybody? My name is Jacob Hardison, and today we've got another track walk. Alrighty, so here we are at the outdoor track here at Adrenaline RC to give you the official track walk of our 2025 Nitro Spring Fling layout. So I'll start off here on the straightaway, and we will of course jump straight into it. So we've got our loop in the same position as it was last year, and then of course our entrance to pit lane, which we did raise up a little bit more, so we're hoping that visibility is prime this weekend, but we will find out. But we will continue down the straightaway. You'll notice that as we do walk around the track, there is going to be an oak came out of like a dust layer on top. We are expecting a little bit of rain here, so we didn't want to get too wet. That way we of course can get straight on the track tomorrow for some practice. So at the end of the straightaway here, we're gonna have our first feature, which is gonna be just a little skip hump, speed bump, kind of can use it as a braking bump. So you'll fly down the straightaway. And there, of course, is the exit of pit lane into the braking bump. Not super tall, but enough to get you a little bit of air to jump into our first turn. So we've got a little chicane action going on here, a little S section going up the hill. There's the straightaway, you'll come down, hug the apex. You'll have to do a little bit of steering. Can't get quite the perfect line, but you can get fairly straight in there. So as we come through our short shoot uphill S, we then have another elevation skip here. This one is going to be elevated all the way through with just a little bit of off camber here on the end. Ideally, you'll come through, hit the center apex there, kind of diagonal from here to here. And you'll pop up onto our back tabletop, which will then take you into an acceleration downhill roller. That way you can hit this nice big old double here on the back side of the track. It's got plenty of lip, so get an idea. So you'll go up, stay tight, come around, use this as acceleration. That way you can full send over this to our lander. I haven't measured it, so I don't know exact distances, but it is a pretty good size. Definitely true 1/8 scale. So we'll pop off of that into our lander here, and that will bring us into a corner tabletop. You can see we've got a nice smooth incline coming up to it. Then on the apex, you'll have a pretty aggressive downside, which will give you a good amount of speed, especially because not only is it downhill and super aggressive, but it'll also be going down the actual hill of the track. So we'll get a picture of that there. So you'll carry a lot of speed, but you got to be careful because you'll very quickly come to our next turn into the mega whoops is what I'm going to call it. Just a slight chicane here technically, with this being kind of pulled out towards us. But in reality, when you hit this, you can do this pretty straight on. So we'll come up to the top side here. We'll see all of our nice, super aggressive rollers. Definitely, if you get caught in the middle of this, you'll have a little bit of pain to try and work your way through without having any sort of rollovers at all. Ideally, though, you'll want to full rip off of that. Try to jump as far out into this as you can, and if possible, downside into this lander here. Now for Nitro, I think it'll be a little bit more tough because you don't have a massive acceleration zone, but I think for electric, with enough rip, you should be able to jump all the way to the edge there. As you come out of our mogul rhythm super duper aggressive section, the whoops, you'll come into a 180. That will bring you into a tabletop double. So we'll come to the far side here. So plenty of lip to give you some pop to get to the downside of this tabletop, and that will send you into probably jump this very similarly sized, maybe a tick smaller, and it will be an angle double. So you'll take off here, give it a little steering input as you come off, get a view there of that tabletop. So you'll use the acceleration off of that to take off here, give it a little bit of steering input to get into our sweeping lander. Tons of downside there, so plenty of opportunity. You can either land, of course, at the top, but if you do overshoot it, you've got plenties of lander. Then you'll shoot up, going almost to the top of the hill here. This will be a pretty high speed section just because there's not any big humps or features going on here. So you'll zoom off of that to a hairpin into the switchback. I'll back up here and get you a better view. You'll come off of that, enter into our switchback, and then try to keep it tight on that apex, tight to that apex, get a nice diagonal line. And then we've got an interesting off-camber feature here, not something that we usually have, but this will come all the way from the top down to the pipe. So if you blow this turn, then you will be able to kind of like jump over it, but that of course isn't going to be the fastest line around. You want to stay tight, not get any lift. That way you can just full wood all the way through the final sweeper of the track at the true top end of the hill. Then you'll come into the final double. This is a straight double, so you don't have to worry about trying to get any angles or anything. You can jump this perfectly straight into the downside, which again has plenty of room. That way, if you over jump it, you aren't just totally flat landing. And then that will zoom us back onto the straightaway. So it should be a very, very fun track here. I'll quickly walk our way to our lovely driver stand. Unfortunately, some of the rain did bring some dirt into the gravel, but I'll get that cleaned up. But for this weekend, it'll be prime. So we'll come to our staircase here, and we'll get you the final view of the track. So you'll zoom down the straightaway across the loop into the first skip. You'll chicane up the hill into some different elevations. Come off that roller into the first big double. Nice long short shoot. I guess that doesn't make sense, long short shoot. Plenty of space to carry speed, we'll go with that. Come up to the tabletop, drop off into the super rhythm mogul section. Make your 180, jump this tabletop with that takeoff over there. Into the angle double, nice long double once again. Into the semi-high speed, semi-not high speed. It'll be high speed up until you get to the switchback. Stay tight, into the off camber, which again, you'll want to stay tight on so you don't hit the big elevation there. Scream all the way to our final double, hit the downside, and then zoom off down the straightaway once again. Should be a beautiful weekend here at Adrenaline RC for the 2025 Spring Fling. We hope to see everybody this weekend for a lot of fun. It's going to be great weather. We'll have a great time racing.